Hello then, a warm welcome to all of you here on the News Tonight here on Sabha TV, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world in the next 30 minutes. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Kazakh capital Astana, makes a strong pitch for enhanced defence and security cooperation between the two countries. 1 year wait for India and Pakistan to get full membership in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization may end soon. Summit to start from Friday. Supreme Court sends notice to political parties, asks them why should not they be brought under the ambit of the RTI. Amid pressure from opposition parties on the Vyapam scam, Madhya Pradesh government finally files a plea for a CBI probe in the High Court, but the Congress demands Supreme Court monitoring. And Greece offers no concrete proposals ahead of the emergency Eurozone meet to decide its future in the EU. European leaders say doors still open though for a deal. Our top story this evening, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a strong pitch for enhanced defence and security cooperation as he arrived in the Kazakh capital Astana. This is the second leg of the Prime Minister's five-nation Central Asian tour. He was received at the airport by his Kazakh counterpart Karim Masimov. The Prime Minister also addressed CEOs and business leaders. Here are the details.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with his Kazakh counterpart Karim Masimov after he arrived in Astana for a two-day visit to the country. Kazakhstan is the second leg of Modi's tour of Central Asia. Earlier, he was personally received by Masimov as he landed at the airport in Astana. The Prime Minister also interacted with students at the Nazarbayev University. Addressing the gathering at the university, Modi made a strong pitch for enhanced defence and security cooperation with Central Asian countries.
We live at the frontier of instability. We live close to the crucible of extremism and terrorism. We see terrorism spawned by nations and groups. Today, we also see cyberspace become a platform without borders for terror to draw recruits to its cause. So during this visit, we will strengthen our defense and security cooperation in the region. But we will also combat terrorism by the strength of our values and our commitment to humanism.
He also inaugurated the India-Kazakhstan Center for Excellence in Information and Communication Technology at the Ellen Gumilev Eurasian National University. A high-powered business delegation has accompanied Modi on this visit. In an interaction with CEOs and business leaders of Kazakhstan, he laid emphasis on enhancing trade and investment.
हमारे संबंधों को विकसित करने के लिए आर्थिक संबंधों को और ताकतवर बनाने में हमारा सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत है वो कनेक्टिविटी की है। भारत जैसा देश कजाकिस्तान के साथ पार्टनरशिप करके एक प्रकार से विन-विन सिचुएशन वाला प्रोग्रेस हमारा हो सकता है।
Modi will next head to Ufa in Russia for the BRICS summit between July 8th and 9th, after which he will resume his Central Asian tour to Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Modi will also be reaching Ufa in Russia tomorrow to attend the annual BRICS summit and the SCO summit. The five BRICS nations are expected to discuss long-term goals of the bloc and measures to promote cooperation at the summit. Modi will also be the first Indian Prime Minister to attend the SCO summit, where along with Pakistan, India hopes to get a full membership of the group by next year.
India and Pakistan will have to wait till next year to get full membership of the security and economic grouping, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The focus of the SCO is on boosting connectivity, counter-terrorism cooperation, bolstering cooperation in the energy sector, enhancing trade and dealing with drug trafficking. Ahead of the summit in Ufa, which will be attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a Russian presidential aide has said that the process to elevate India and Pakistan from being observers to full members of SCO will kick off at the summit. On Monday, during his visit to one of the SCO member countries, Uzbekistan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his gratitude for its support to include India as a full-time member.
Prime Minister of India appreciated Uzbekistan's support in moving forward the process that would make India a member of the SCO.
Besides the SCO summit, Modi will also attend the annual BRICS summit. With the BRICS Development Bank already set up, the summit could also look at the possibility of starting credit facility in local currency. Before leaving India, Modi highlighted the role of BRICS in tackling major global challenges. Even China echoed his views about BRICS.
合作基础呢不断扩大，在重大国际事务中的沟通和协调不断加强，已成为带动世界经济增长。
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will attend the inaugural meeting of the BRICS New Development Bank in Moscow. After this meet, Jaitley will attend the meeting of the finance ministers of the BRICS grouping on Wednesday, to be held in Ufa city, which was also hosting the two-day BRICS summit.
Perhaps this is the first time that BRICS and SCO summits are held together at one place. And this is the way that President Putin is trying to show to the world that developing nations and emerging powers are going on the path of development and peace together. Akhilesh Soman for Rajya Television with camera person DK Pandey in Ufa, Russia.
All right, for more on this, we're joined by Smita Gupta, Associate Editor with The Hindu from the capital, in fact. Smita, thanks so much for joining us here on the news tonight. Give us a sense, Smita, of the kind of mood really as far as the global picture is concerned. You know, these leaders meeting again, perhaps for the third time in the past year or so, and what they seem to be building up a formidable force.
Yes, absolutely. I think these leaders meeting together, I think, is a step forward. And as we have seen right from the beginning of this BJP government, foreign policy has been a very key issue with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And this is part of that, part of his philosophy, part of his strategy.
That's right. Also, you know, taking a look at the group itself, Russia and China. Recently, a US report by the Pentagon, in fact, named them as aggressors. As far as economics are concerned, we do know where China stands. And in fact, India too, growing in the past year itself is the biggest grower as far as the GDP is concerned. These three nations together, including South Africa, give us a sense as how India is going to balance that with China and Russia, and also its relations with, let's say, USA.
Well, I think one thing that Prime Minister Modi has been able to do since he took over is to ensure that his relationships with each of these countries is a separate relationship, that he is trying his hardest not to allow, say, for instance, his relationship with China to affect the one with Russia or with the USA. It is a difficult balancing act, but we'll have to see whether he's able to achieve that. But so far from what diplomats in Delhi say, foreign diplomats, they seem to think that he has been fairly successful in these efforts.
All right. Also talking about the SCO membership, how crucial is that going to be for India? Also Pakistan also vying for that as well.
It will be crucial because, and especially with Pakistan also vying for it, I think it will be very, very significant, and let us see how it all pans out.
All right. Smita Gupta, also, talking about not just the BRICS summit, but also all the SCO summit, the Central Asian tour in general, just give us a sense really how crucial that is. Prime Minister Modi visiting these 5 nations. It's a region that India has in the past, at least the past government if concerned, has not really shown that much of an interest in these regions. But we do know there's a lot of, resources that can be tapped into, energy for one.
Absolutely. As we have seen, there has been a pattern in Prime Minister Modi's foreign policy efforts, initiatives. First, it was the immediate neighborhood. Then it was, China, Japan, all these countries. And now we have, of course, the US, of course, has been a very critical factor. Then we had Israel. We have seen the growing links with Israel. But to boost our energy sector, I think this particular tour of the Central Asian states is very, very crucial. And we'll have to see, how far this particular, tour takes India.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Smita Gupta, for joining us with those details. They're here on the news tonight. In other news now, the Supreme Court today sought responses from the Centre, the Election Commission and 6 political parties on a plea to bring all political parties under the ambit of the RTI Act. The plea contends that all political parties, national as well as regional, are public authorities and hence amenable to the RTI Act. Hearing the plea, a 3-judge bench headed by Chief Justice H.L. Datu issued notices to all relevant authorities, including the 2 leading national parties, the BJP and the Congress. Filed by the NGO Association for Democratic Reforms, the plea claims that political parties receive huge sums of money in the form of donations and contributions from corporates, trusts and individuals, but do not disclose complete information about the source of such donations. It has urged the Apex Court to direct all national and regional parties to disclose details about their income as well as their expenditure.
This provision, which enables political parties to withhold information about donations which are below 20,000 rupees, and most political parties receive more than 3/4 of their donations which they claim are less than 20,000 rupees, that all details of every donation should be made public.
Political parties have their own private confidential strategies which they can't publicly announce, and therefore RTI on this would upset the whole functioning of the political parties. So I'm sure the Chief Election Commission will give an appropriate reply to that.
And now, after stonewalling demands for a CBI probe into the Vyapam scam, the Madhya Pradesh government today filed a petition in the High Court for a CBI probe. This after the Chief Minister conceded that such a step was needed in the face of overwhelming public opinion in the case.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan finally approving a CBI investigation into the employment scam on Tuesday. He defended his earlier decisions to stonewall demands for such a probe, claiming that he wasn't authorized to order such an inquiry.
मैं ये मानता हूं कि जनता के मन में भी सवाल खड़े हुए, प्रदेश के बाहर ज्यादा सवाल खड़े हुए। जनता जानना चाहती कि आखिर क्या है, और इसलिए मैं जनमत के आगे शीश झुकाता हूं और माननीय हाई कोर्ट को एक अनुरोध पत्र भेज रहा हूं कि व्यापम मामले की जांच वो सीबीआई से कराने की कृपा करें।
Refuting the allegations made by opposition parties on the case, Chauhan claimed his government had nothing to hide.
मुझ पे आरोप लगाए गए, बेबुनियाद आरोप लगाए गए। उनका व्यापम की जांच से कोई लेना देना नहीं है कांग्रेस के मित्रों का। उनको जो मृत्यु हुई है उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। उनका एकमात्र मकसद था शिवराज को घेरो।
The Congress rejected the offer, stating that only a Supreme Court monitored probe by the CBI will bring the culprits to the book.
We would like the whole investigation to be done by CBI under the close monitoring by an SIT appointed by Honorable Supreme Court, and Honorable Supreme Court should monitor this on a weekly basis.
Other opposition parties are supporting the Congress on this issue.
मैं ये मानता हूं कि इस मामले में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निगरानी में जांच होना चाहिए सीबीआई की।
पहले तो ये खुद ही कोर्ट में विरोध किए थे सीबीआई का, और अभी कल हमारे गृह मंत्री भी यही कहे, देश के प्रधानमंत्री खामोश बैठे हुए हैं और एक के बाद एक लोग की हत्या होती जा रही है या खुफिया तौर पर या अजीब तरीके से मौत हो रही है, तो इसका जांच तो होना ही चाहिए।
The recruitment scam allegedly involves manipulation in the selection process for government jobs conducted by the Madhya Pradesh Professional Examination Board. Estimates say over 40 people, both witnesses and accused, have died in mysterious circumstances. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A quick break here. Up next, international news and world powers in Iran push for a nuclear deal as the deadline nears its end. Details of that ahead.
Greece's future in the balance. After a resounding no to the EU's austerity measures, will it continue in the Eurozone? What are the Greek government's options? Watch The Big Picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, vice chancellors of all central universities met today to discuss the choice-based credit system. All 39 universities under UGC have agreed to implement the controversial system from this session itself. The system will be introduced for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. It will be implemented for 103 courses in all. These include 85 syllabi for mainline courses and 18 syllabi for specialized courses. Now, the universities have also been asked to ensure migration of students wherever necessary. CBCS allows students seamless mobility across higher education institutions and the transfer of credit earned by them. Academicians, of course, strongly opposing the idea of a common structure and common syllabi as it runs counter to the diverse socio-cultural realities and learning needs of people spread across various regions. Protesters also saying that it is a crackdown on the autonomy of varsities. For more on this, we're in fact joined by Ved Prakash, who's the chairman of UGC. Mr. Prakash, thank you so much for speaking to us here. If you could just give us a sense really on how UGC is preparing for this implementation.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Prakash, can you give us an idea how UGC is planning to implement this?
The choice-based credit system, what is going to be implemented from 2015 and 16. In fact, today we had the meeting of the vice chancellors of all the central universities, and all the 39 vice chancellors have attended this meeting, wherein we have shared with them the model syllabi which we have developed for 85 mainline courses and 18 specialized courses through a process of consultation with professionals and by analyzing the existing syllabi across the universities. And in addition to that, what we have done is that we have also organized 8 regional workshops, which were attended by more than 1,700 academicians, including the vice chancellors, deans, HODs, and professors. And today, I'm happy to share with you that all the vice chancellors have agreed to implement the choice-based credit system from the coming academic session. And another important thing which has been decided during today's meeting is that all the central universities have agreed to complete the accreditation process before September-October 2015. In addition to that, the vice chancellors have also agreed to our proposal whereby we want to give vocational orientation to higher education. And they have agreed to set up community colleges. They have also agreed to launch the Bachelor of Vocational programs in the identified trades, for which we have the details available on our website. The universities have also agreed, all the central universities have also agreed to adopt 5 villages wherein they are going to create awareness on issues pertaining to education, health, environment, water management, and other problems which are there, with a view to bringing about qualitative improvement in the lives of the people living around the central universities.
All right, Mr. Prakash, but we do know that a lot of teachers, a lot of academicians have in fact said that, you know, this is a system that's being hastily pushed. They're in fact saying that this is going to be a crackdown on autonomous varsities. What would you say to that?
I mean, the universities are autonomous institutions, and we are not encroaching upon the autonomy of those institutions. In fact, let me share with you that the model syllabi which we have developed for these 103 different domains of knowledge is spanning over exact sciences, humanities, social sciences, and languages. There is a provision that the individual university can modify the model syllabi to the extent of 30%.
Okay.
And that is in line with the present provision of migration, which even today warrants 75% common contents. A student from X university can migrate to Y university today only when there is a commonality of the order of 70% in the curricular provisions.
Okay.
So that is what we have ensured. So 30% amendments can be made by the individual universities in the model syllabi that we have suggested.
All right. And very quickly, Mr. Prakash, could you also give us an idea how teacher recruitments are going to be affected? Are they at all going to be affected? Would you be looking into that as well?
I beg your pardon? What would be affected?
Teachers' recruitment.
No, the teachers' recruitment, what we have done is, in fact, the vice chancellors today have agreed to revisit the workload in individual university.
Okay.
And in fact, it appears to us that we have sanctioned more number of positions to different universities to prevent them from coming back and forth for additional positions. So in one go, for instance, when we set up these new central universities, we gave them 20 departments. But many universities have not been able to launch the 20 programs.
Okay.
They are offering only the PG programs and the research programs. As a result of which, there are access positions given to them. So we have taken two decisions. Number one, that the vice chancellors are going to revisit the workload of individual department.
Okay.
And they would let us know how many positions do they exactly want. This is one exercise which will be completed within a period of 10 to 12 days. That is what we have decided today.
All right.
Another is that we have also asked the vice chancellors to give us an action plan.
Yes.
As to how they are going to fill in the backlog in the positions meant for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs. And we have requested all our colleagues to fill in the vacant positions in the next 4 to 4.5 months.
All right, Mr. Prakash, it all sounds very promising. Good luck to you, and we do hope.
Thank you very much.
We do hope this gets implemented quickly, and it does eventually benefit the students. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, quickly, let's get you through international news. And EU leaders today expressed disappointment after the Greece Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras failed to offer any concrete plans ahead of the emergency Eurozone meeting. The meet in Brussels was convened to discuss a new bailout plan for Greece after its people rejected the creditors' proposals on bailout. Tsipras is in fact expected to address the European Parliament later on Wednesday.
Eurozone leaders expressed dismay as the Greek PM turned up for the crucial meeting with no new proposals. Reports suggest that the Greek side gave a presentation at the finance ministers' meeting on Tuesday, but there was no new written plan. A crucial meeting at the European Union headquarters in Brussels is being seen as an olive branch for Greek PM Alexis Tsipras. It will be the last chance for Greece to stay on in the euro as its cash runs out. Expectations are riding high on the new Greek finance minister, who is expected to redouble efforts to put debt relief negotiations back on the table.
Attendons, c'est que M. Tsakalotos, nouveau ministre de l'économie et des finances, que je salue, nous présente des propositions qui doivent être complètes, concrètes, crédibles, pour pouvoir démarrer la discussion. La Commission européenne ne se résigne pas au Grexit.
European leaders, on the other hand, say Grexit is not their aim and that the door is still open for a deal. Alexis Tsipras is expected to meet German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President François Hollande ahead of the summit.
Davon aus, dass sie das tun wird und rate dazu, dass wir dann auch auf der Grundlage dieser Vorschläge, wenn sie denn kommen, der konkreten Vorschläge mit Griechenland verhandeln, weil, das ist jedenfalls meine persönliche Meinung.
Ich akzeptiere das schon überhaupt nicht für die Kommission und ihren Präsidenten von griechischer Regierungsseite als Terroristen bezeichnet werden. Das ist kein Umgang, den man in Europa haben kann.
Hierbei drängt die Zeit und wir werden darauf Wert legen, dass in dieser Woche solche Vorschläge auf den Tisch kommen müssen, damit wir die Situation, so wie sie im Augenblick ist, dann auch auflösen können.
Meanwhile, Greek banks are rapidly running out of cash, while the European Central Bank is slowly tightening the noose on funding. Analysts feel that an amicable negotiation for a new loan is the only way out for Cyprus. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Meanwhile, with some key sticking points remaining, the talks between world powers and Iran on striking a comprehensive nuclear deal have been extended. The EU Foreign Policy Chief announced that the talks will continue past Tuesday's deadline, but not for too long. The talks have intensified since the previous deadline last week could not be met, with foreign ministers grappling to resolve outstanding issues. Now, Tehran's demands to continue research on advanced atomic centrifuges and sanctions remain a major hurdle. Representatives of both sides say significant progress has been made and a deal was closer than ever before, but it is still not assured.
We are continuing to negotiate for the next couple of days. This does not mean we are extending our deadline. I told you 1 week ago, more or less, we are interpreting in a flexible way our deadline, which means that we are taking the time, the days we still need to finalize the agreement, which is something that is still possible, even if now we're getting into the difficult time.
Away from international news, let's now get you some sports beat. Leander Paes and Martina Hingis breezed into the mixed doubles quarterfinals at the Wimbledon Championships after drubbing Artem Sitak and Anastasia Rodionova in straight sets. The 7th-seeded Indo-Swiss pair thrashed the Kiwi-Australian team 6-2, 6-2. The pair will next meet the winner of the match between Marcin Matkowski, Elina Vesnina and Lucas Kubot, Andrea Lavachkova to book a place in the semi-finals. Wimbledon top seed and defending champion Novak Djokovic survived a scare to book a place in the quarterfinals after a 5-set match against South African Kevin Anderson. Djokovic defeated Anderson 6-7, 6-7, 6-1, 6-4, 7-5 to reach his 25th successive Grand Slam quarterfinal. He will next face Croatia's Marin Cilic in the quarterfinals. The Indian cricket team, led by the newly appointed skipper Ajinkya Rahane, left for the Zimbabwe tour today. India will play 3 one-dayers and 2 T20 internationals against the African side from the 10th of July. Many senior players like Dhoni, Kohli, Raina, Dhawan and Rohit Sharma have been rested by the selectors for this series. However, veteran spinner Harbhajan Singh has been called up after a long gap. Floyd Mayweather has been stripped of the welterweight world title by the World Boxing Organization after failing to meet the deadline for paying the $2 lakh sanctioning fee required by the WBO. Mayweather had won the title by beating Manny Pacquiao in May this year. His fellow American Timothy Bradley will now become the full belt holder. That's all we have for you on the news tonight. Good night.